and to the republic for which it stands, for one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer or reflection. Thank you. Please be seated. We'll begin with proclamations/certificates 13616-25. Or actually, I need to do roll call, so let's do roll call first.
Mr. Bukowski. Mr. Botta. Mr. Ambrosia.
Here.
Ms. Filiaggi. Mr. Fatoulis.
Here.
Here.
Mr. Grisbeck.
Here.
Ms. Hallam.
Here.
Mr. Klein.
Here.
Mr. Macy.
Here.
Ms. Nakaradi Chapkus.
Here.
Mr. Palmieri.
Here.
Mr. Paul Messina.
Here.
Ms. Pritzio. Mr. Walton.
Here.
President Katina.
Here.
There are currently 14 members present.
Okay. We'll begin with 13616-25.
Proclamation recognizing Riley Williams for dedicating time, leadership, creativity, and effort to make her community better, sponsored by Councilmember Palmieri.
Riley, are you here? Want to come up? Councilman Palmieri is on the phone, so he wants me to send his regards to you, obviously, so he appreciates everything you've done. So as president of county council, I'll be presenting the proclamation this evening for Vice President Palmieri, but he wishes he could have been here tonight to present this to you in person, so thank you. Whereas Baldwin Whitehall School District 5th grade student Riley Williams led and organized the donation drive to supply those who were unhoused and experiencing challenges with food and clothing. And whereas the project began when Riley's teacher, Chelsea, what's her last name? Mara Kinnish, I'll go with you what you're saying, asked her to choose a class project, something she was passionate about. Riley said helping others was her passion, and she wanted to help unhoused people who lacked the necessities of life. She proposed a donation drive involving the entire school, but first she needed approval. And whereas due to the logistics, the projects took a while to get off the ground, but her being as diligent and as passionate as she can, and she was overwhelmed with the response from the students and the staff. Riley met with the school administrators to explain her project and get approval with her classmates. Especially excited about the project, asking when they could be bringing in donations and how soon. So donations were collected on the first floor of the school building for about 2 weeks. After the first week, they had to bring in more bins to accommodate all of the overflow. This is how passionate this young woman is. Items including clothing, coats, blankets, canned goods, and other needed items. So whereas on June 6, 2025, students helped pack the donations at R.A. Lutz Elementary School. First, they dropped off the canned food at the Light of Life Rescue Mission, and then the clothing, coats, and blankets were delivered that afternoon to the Salvation Army thrift store. So whereas due to her dedication to the community, Riley received a certificate of recognition from the Salvation Army staff, and she hopes to make the project an annual event at her school. That's wonderful. That's great. Now, therefore be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Council Member John Palmieri, and myself, County Council President Pat Katina, do hereby recognize Riley Williams upon her exceptional project and for her dedication of time, leadership, creativity, and her effort to make the community better. Thank you so much for everything you did. You want to say something? Want to say something? Go ahead. You can say whatever you want to say. Nothing? Okay. Okay. That's fine. Want to bring your parents up? We're going to do a picture. Come on. We're going up to the front. Come on. Who else do you want to bring up? Is there anyone else you want to bring up? Bring them all up. Come on. Watch when you're walking up here with the board. What's actually the house?
You guys shift this way a little bit. All righty. Okay. All right, 1, 2.
Thank you. Congratulations again. You're welcome. Okay, we're going to move on to 13617-25.
A proclamation recognizing Officer Demaro Dixon and Officer Amira Wright for both their bravery and continued commitment to the safety of the people of Allegheny County, sponsored by Councilmember Katina.
Thank you. What, are you here? Are they here this evening? Brian, are they here?
Yeah, Officer Dixon had a family emergency on vacation, so he's
Okay.
delayed, but I'll accept it.
Okay. Want to come on up? He knows who I am, but I'm Pat Katina, so you to meet you. You're very welcome. Whereas correctional officers have the difficult and often dangerous job of ensuring custody, safety, and well-being of incarcerated individuals, their position is essential to the day-to-day operations of the institution. And without these individuals, it would be impossible to achieve the institutional goals and success. This profession is one of the utmost importance to the safety of Allegheny County. And without their bravery and skill set, the county's correctional system would not function. Allegheny County is always grateful for the contributions of those who make a difference, and those two individuals are Officers Demaro Dixon and Officer Amira Wright. And whereas Officer Dixon began his career at the Allegheny County Jail in 2023, and throughout his time at the jail, he has consistently volunteered to be part of the hospital details. As part of these hospital details, he has prevented 2 active escape attempts over the past 4 months. Officer Amira Wright began her career at Allegheny County Jail in 2024 at age 19 and has prevented 1 escape attempt. And whereas on June 29, 2025, Officers Dixon and Wright were assigned to guard an incarcerated individual undergoing treatment at the emergency wing of the Allegheny General Hospital. While being cuffed to the bed, the incarcerated individual complained of a headache, double vision, and nausea, and Officer Dixon allowed him to sit up. His hand was placed under the blanket out of the officer's line of sight as his cuffs were being slipped in the process to escape custody. I shouldn't laugh at that, but I mean, that's unfortunately what happens. Officers Dixon and Wright pursued the incarcerated individual in the hallway. Working in tandem, they both grabbed and restrained him and incarcerated the individual, and Officer Wright provided support and maintained the crowd control. Without their quick reaction, a tragedy was averted. So today, I'm here to congratulate both of them, and on behalf of Allegheny County Council and the residents of Allegheny County, I thank you. So now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Council President Patrick Katina, do hereby recognize and commend Officer Demaro Dixon and Officer Amira Wright for both their bravery demonstrated in this incident and continued commitment to the safety of the people of Allegheny County. We owe these officers and all the correction officers a debt of gratitude for ensuring the safety and well-being of the incarcerated individuals. On behalf of the county, thank you very much. Would you like to say something? Wait. You don't get to run away that easy. Would you like to say something or no? You don't have to, I mean.
No, I'm okay. I would like to thank the Allegheny County Council and everyone here, making everything better, trying to at least, and we're getting there. We see the progress each of you are making every Tuesday, twice a month. Greatly appreciate your time.
There's one for you.
Thank you.
Brian, would you like to say anything?
I don't want to speak for Officer Dixon. This was a last-minute cancellation, but I just want to thank Officer Wright and Officer Dixon for what they do in that facility every day. I appreciate that.
Let's go up and get our picture.
Right here. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
13618-25, a proclamation recognizing Bethel Bakery and the Walsh family for serving the residents of Allegheny County and beyond for 70 years, sponsored by Councilmember Grisbeck. 13619-25, a proclamation honoring the life of Douglas Edward Duck Harris and recognizing his volunteer service and lasting contribution to the Pittsburgh Science Workshop and to our community, sponsored by Councilmember Bada. 13620-25, a proclamation congratulating Elise Peterson on her triumph in the 102nd Annual National Marbles Tournament and her coronation as the Queen of Marbles, sponsored by Councilmember Paul Messina. 13621-25, a proclamation recognizing Samuel DeMarco III on being the recipient of the Frank A. Santa Maria Lifetime Achievement Award and its contributions to the community, sponsored by Councilmembers Ambrasia and Filiaggi. 13622-25, a proclamation recognizing Tom Yankello for his outstanding contributions to the community, to the game of boxing, and congratulate him on being a Hall of Fame inductee in the National Italian American Hall of Fame, sponsored by Council Members Ambrasia and Filiaggi. 13623-25, a proclamation commending the United Volunteer Fire and Rescue for their unwavering dedication to safety and rescue, serving the residents of East McKeesport and Waldboro for 25 years, sponsored by Councilmember Nakaradi Chapkus.
Is there any public comment on agenda items this evening?
Not on agenda items.
Okay, approval of minutes, 13624-25.
Motion to approve the minutes of the June 17th, 2025 regular meeting of council.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 13625-25.
Motion to approve the minutes of the July 1st, 2025 regular meeting of council.
Motion to approve.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 13626-25.
Motion to approve the minutes of the July 8th, 2025 regular meeting of council.
Someone want to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Presentation of appointments, 13614-25.
Approving the appointment of Angel Ivy to the Board of Property Assessment Appeals and Review for a term to expire on September 8th, 2026, sponsored by Councilmember Walton.
That's going to go to the Committee on Appointment Review. Unfinished business?
We have none.
None. Liaison reports? Any liaison reports this evening? Michelle?
President Katina, I wanted to share with council that on Sunday, there was a dedication of outdoor AED devices that were placed in Boyce Park and White Oak Park. And this is in thanks to the contribution of the Aliver Foundation. The foundation's mission is to raise awareness and funds to install all-weather AEDs in outdoor recreation spaces, while also providing crucial resources and educational opportunities to individuals and communities. And we all know that AEDs save lives. And so this has been a critical step for all of the residents of Allegheny County who frequent and enjoy those parks. So most appreciative to the Aliver Foundation. And I'll just end with the did you know that's on their website. Did you know there's a myth going around that you need to learn how to use an AED when they are actually quite user-friendly and simple to use? Call 911 or the emergency number in your county, open the AED, press the button, and follow the voice prompts. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else this evening? Go ahead.
I just wanted to remind everybody, I know we usually meet for Jail Oversight Board on the first Thursday of every month, but we actually have a special regular meeting tomorrow at noon. It is a public meeting. It's open to the public. It is for the single issue of re-upping the monthly stipend for incarcerated individuals. So if anyone here is interested in what's going on in the jail and the most widely successful program we've ever had there, please come to the meeting tomorrow at noon in this room right here. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
Mr. President, Councilman Bada has joined the meeting.
Oh, okay, thank you. Did you have something about?
Yes. As Chairman of Public Works, I don't want to be Captain Obvious here, but you could take a look out in your communities. These are state roads, county roads, and your municipalities. There's a lot of work going on. These people out there are working and not being as safe as they could be if, in fact, the drivers would just pay attention to the signs and slow down. Thank you.
Anyone else this evening? Okay, no one else this evening? New business ordinances, resolutions, 13628-25.
An ordinance of the Council of the County of Allegheny ratifying the revisions of Article 6 of the Allegheny County Health Department Rules and Regulation concerning houses and community environment, sponsored by the Chief Executive.
That will go to the Committee on Health and Human Services. Any new business? None. Notification of contracts, 13627-25.
Communication summarizing approved executive actions for the month of June 2025.
Receive and file.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Would you?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We'll now have public comment on general items. I believe we're going to begin with Mr. Schmutzer.
Thank you, President Cantina. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight, and I want to thank all the Allegheny County Council members for the service that you do on this board. I'm here tonight to thank the Allegheny County Public Works Department for a storm sewer, and that's Councilman Macy's committee, I guess, for a storm sewer that they put on Bronzeville Road. It's too long of a story, it would take me an hour to go into, but basically there's a serious water problem on Bronzeville and West Club. Mayor Jim Nowak and I have been working for 15 months on this. The county stepped up to the plate and they did their job. And, you know, Whitehall's still working on finishing, well, starting and hopefully finishing the project on West Club Drive. So thank you for stepping up to the plate. I think you had to show yours before they did theirs because, frankly, they didn't want to do the project. And but this wouldn't have happened without Councilman John Palmieri because initially Public Works said no. But because John Palmieri is such a nice guy, and because I'm such a nice guy, and Grant, who's the chief of staff, was instrumental in having this happen. And I thank you very, very much. Next thing I'd like to do a shout out for David Voyer, who's the director of Allegheny County Department of Elections. I think he does a great job. He's been there 40 years. I knew him when he was young. Now he's old. But he still does a great job, and the department does very well. Last but not least, I want to talk about Bethany Halem for a second. I don't agree with her politics or her wardrobe, but what I want to do is congratulate her for, at such a, latter stage in life to go to law school, and the amazing part is she graduated. So congratulations on being a graduate of Duquesne Law School, not passed the bar. But what I really want to talk about is Bethany Halem gets up every day and practices the corporal works of mercy. Every day, feeds the hungry, clothes the naked, gives shelter to the homeless. There is no greater act that an elected official can do, morally and ethically, than to serve his fellow man and woman. And she's been an inspiration. I've helped with trucks and some furniture to help her, and Manny has helped to put these people off the street and into homes. And I can't tell you how much I admire you. When we were little kids growing up, my mother would take us by bus because we didn't have a car. We'd go downtown, and we'd see people begging. And we didn't know, and we looked, and my mother said, listen, but for the grace of God, there go I. And when you guys get older, you help who you can help, and you do it every day of your life. So thank you, Bethany, for who you are.
Jacob? Is Jacob, yeah, Jacob?
Good evening. I'm Jacob Poole. Pet's present name, previous name, Zoltan Zsolt Jakob. I'm from Eastern Europe. I'm part of the thousands of people that was living in the Pittsburgh area that was gathered into American children's camps during the Soviet Union collapse and Yugoslavia wars, mostly from Ukraine and Yugoslavia. And records were changed, names changed, and brought to America by force, away from our families forever. And I live in the Pittsburgh area, and I always think I'm a normal person. I was just working with Goodwill Workforce Development for 2 months, trying to get a job. I applied to like 50 jobs with them, think I'm a regular person, use regular websites, make a resume. No, I'm not. None of those work. I live in a human trafficking, child trafficking underworld of Pittsburgh, where people go to Eastern Europe, bring children here, hold us captive, constantly modify our records, hold us captive, and trying to force us into forced labor conditions. I was at Goodwill Workforce Development just a couple weeks ago for 2 months. Instead of them helping me get the jobs I applied to on the websites like a normal person, in secret they're trying to push me verbally jobs like lawn care. I have college degrees. This woman literally verbally off the record, without proof, said lawn care and home care. You want to do it? I want to petition the court to create a 311 system, the council, to create a 311 system for the Allegheny County so I can report crime like I can do in the city of Pittsburgh. I go in the city of Pittsburgh and people target me for human trafficking, child trafficking, and they do all the time because I'm from Europe. I have an accent, they keep records of me, people show up next to me, anywhere in Pittsburgh and Allegheny County and trying to take me to work sites. Come work here, work at this garage, work at this car shop. And I'm gonna report it to the police. The city of Pittsburgh has a 311 system where I go to the 311 website and I report, take a picture, date and time, this occurred, and these people approached me, and they're trying to exploit me because I'm from Europe, I'm a foreigner. They brought me here for child slavery from Eastern Europe when I was a kid. So, but the county doesn't have that. Only the city of Pittsburgh has that. And most of these things are operated from Edgewood, where I live. I live in Edgewood right now. I get targeted there every day for exploitation and things. Or Wilkinsburg. The county, all the suburbs in the county, that's where the paramilitary gangs target people like me. And there are thousands of people here from Europe like me. I'm not alone. It's estimated that within an hour and a half drive of Pittsburgh, there are 100,000 people here from Europe. And at least 60,000 were brought here during the Yugoslavia wars when America was bombing Serbia and things. And they're being held captive in forced labor in secrecy in an underworld. So council needs to create a system so we can report crime countywide.
Thank you. Karen?
Hi, evening. My name is Karen Hanchett, and I live in Swissvale. I grew up in Allegheny County, spending a year in Aspinwall in 1971, followed by 25 years in Oakland. I remember the air quality in the early 1970s, like some of you may, and I'm grateful that 80% of PA voters in 1971 approved an environmental justice amendment. I am certain my health and that of my parents, my 4 siblings, and countless friends and their families have benefited from that. Now, as a parent of 3 successful adults, 2 of whom own property in Allegheny County, I'm becoming concerned that we are sliding backwards towards unsafe air, water, and land. Now, before I go into detail about my concerns, I first want to make sure I say thank you to my council member, because Michelle has put her support behind the increase of permit fees that I understand was sent back into committee because there was not enough votes. I imagine Michelle understands that if the county health department is not fully funded, the staff reduction could lead to the state taking over. But much worse, with a reduced staff, the county residents can't count on polluting businesses having their permits thoroughly scrutinized by competent health department staff members. Now, let me get into my concerns. It appears to me that this council seems to be neglecting to fully protect residents from heavily polluted air, water, and land. If this were true, this is a complete dereliction of your duty as elected officials. Forgive me for saying that, because you're sworn to represent all of your constituents. Now, honestly, as a former business owner, it's never pleasant to tackle the financial pressure of raising money to cover costs. Running local government requires the same unpleasant yet absolutely necessary action. It's not pleasant, but it's essential. And if you avoid it, this leads to failure, and the failure would lead to county residents having their lives and futures seriously threatened by the business practices of unscrupulous owners and operators. Now, gravely, we have an example from only 8 days ago. The incident at the U.S. Steel facility reminds all of us of the real safety hazards to our fellow county residents. If industries that process with, produce, or create hazardous waste to our air, water, and land are not held to the highest standards of operation, incidents like this will happen. Lives will be lost again, and the health of residents now and possibly way into the future can be affected by residual contamination. Now, please don't misunderstand me. Again, I'm a former business owner, and Allegheny County must be a place where businesses can thrive, whether they employ 8 people or hundreds of people. But if I'm interpreting all this inaction correctly, County Council seems willing to sacrifice resident safety by avoiding the unpleasant truth of raising money.
Thank you.
Sorry, I wish I could have continued.
Barbara?
She wasn't able to make it in person, but I have a printed copy of her comments if I know what.
Okay, just bring them up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. John? Or I'm skip Tom, I'm sorry. Tom? John, hold on, John, I'm sorry. Tom? Is Tom here?
Spagnol?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for this time. My name's Tom Spagnol from Moon Township. I'm here regarding a public safety issue, the issue of violent repeat criminal offenders being granted bail. I understand this council does not have any oversight of common plea judges, but I'm here to ask for your help. For my comments, I'm referencing Sheriff Krause's press release from July 3rd, but I won't be mentioning any suspects' names. His statement reads, Sheriff Krause announced today that a 20-year-old Braddock man already facing a charge of attempted homicide for firing shots at Homestead police officers was arrested and is facing more than a dozen charges after striking a Munhall police officer with a stolen vehicle while he was out on bond. Time's limited, so let me recap. This suspect stole a car, sped away from police. Once somewhat cornered, he hit a Munhall police officer with the car, sped away again, crashed into a police vehicle, then fled on foot. He was subsequently arrested. Sheriff Krause statement ends by saying this suspect had been arrested this past January for criminal attempted homicide after firing shots at Homestead police officers. I'm asking myself, what are we doing when a suspect who originally was jailed for having shot at Homestead police officers is released from jail? Why do we put our officers at risk? This comes on the heels of another violent offender who was released by an orphans court judge. Understand this council receives weekly reports regarding the number of inmates in the county jail. The jail currently isn't overcrowded. In fact, understand there are 2 units or sections of the jail that are not housing a single inmate. So if the jail isn't overcrowded, why are we releasing violent criminal repeat offenders back into communities where your family and my family live? In closing, I'm asking you to use the leverage of this council and county government to work across county departments to address this issue. Thank you.
We have completed our petition phase of our initiative regarding the reinstating of leg restraints on hospital runs with 1,044 petition signatures from registered voters in Allegheny County. These many signatures put us in a favorable position to receive a positive review by our county clerk and our law department of the 500 needed signatures. This event is truly historical. There has never been such a mobilization of people, resources, and time on behalf of our officers to achieve this kind of outcome. I want to thank all of our circulators who provided us with their commitment and time to make all this possible. I want to especially thank our Pittsburgh firefighters who stepped up in a big way in empathizing, understanding, and supporting us with so many signatures. I also want to thank the advocates of our residents who signed our petition and looked beyond the political boundaries and alignments and signed our petition because our initiative is truly much more humane than the sheriff's shackling everyone. Our officers are so deeply appreciative of our efforts of getting the word out through our initiative in the public domain and with voters, talking about our officers' plight, their risk to safety, the public safety, the hospital staff and patient staff, and how the absence of the tool affects the officers' morale and their concern about their future. Our public safety providers, our firefighters, our police, and our paramedics react in shock when they hear our correctional officers do not have use of leg shackles on hospital runs, an industry standard, in that we are the only jail in the state of Pennsylvania without the use of leg shackles, and that officers and residents are being injured in emergency rooms. They question, how did this happen? I mentioned to them that our voters were in the dark about what they were voting on and that the jail staff and different experts in security were never contacted about their thoughts on the issue. Our correctional officers are a unique subculture in our county with a life expectancy of 61, far below everyone else in our county, even our firefighters. The exposure to their actual experiences and education to the real challenges our correctional officers face can help give our voters what they need: intelligible, accurate, and a realistic perspective of what goes on in our jail and our officers' needs, hopes, and realistic interventions to make our hospital rooms safe for everyone. Please hear our officers' plea for help and vote this time with and for our officers and give them a win they so much deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. Brian?
Good evening, Council. My name's Brian Englert. I'm president of the union at the jail. I just want to say that we did deliver the signatures. Many of us officers were out in your districts talking with your constituents about the issue and asking for their signature. And one of the things that I heard the most was, oh yeah, I'll help you stop from losing the leg shackles. And I had to explain to them, no, we've already lost them. A couple people, well, I don't want to say a couple, I'm being modest. Many, if not everybody, said, how? I said, you voted for that. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. I showed them the actual ballot question. I showed them the language that we're trying to have revised. And it was, I only had two, I mean, John is a real soldier. I can't tell the story, but we have gone across this county. I only had two people say they didn't want to sign the petition. One, surprisingly, was at the gun show in Monroeville. You would think that's my target audience, right? One person declined to sign it. They feel that jails across the country, not just Allegheny County Jail, are struggling. I had another resident of Bethel Park decline to sign it because they feel that jails are bad in and of itself. I respect their opinion. But I walked away from all these conversations with your constituents. You know, usually I'm the most popular guy every party I go to. Nobody knows what we do. They want to know all the crazy stories. I asked them, I said, have you ever met a correction officer? I'd say probably 95% of the responses were no. I said, well, now you have, and thank you for listening to me. If you're not in your community talking to your constituents, that's okay, because we have 370 officers at the jail, and we're going to spend the next 11 weeks in the districts, in your communities, going door to door to ask them to talk to you about this issue. This isn't a political issue at all. I don't care. It didn't matter if you were white, black, male, female, Indian, Hispanic, Russian, Eastern European. We talk to everybody. We're going to be out in your districts asking them to come talk to you about this. And for the guy that just spoke, we actually have 5 empty housing units. We have 5 empty housing units at the jail. We definitely are not overcrowded. This issue is extremely important. Officer Wright is a great new officer. I need to keep her in that jail. But within the first 6 months of her career, she had to stop an active escape attempt. Our PTSD is 32% higher than the military. She's 19. My daughter's 208 months old. She's just 2 years younger than her. Officer Dixon has stopped 2 attempts. This isn't a political issue. We're just asking for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Madeline?
Hello, my name's Madeline Darnell, and I live in District 10. First, I want to thank all the council members for your service and attention to all the business of Allegheny County, and Paul Klein in particular for sponsoring our health department's fee increase proposal. Also, we'd like to express our sympathy to the families and friends of the workers at the Coke Works who died and hope for healing for those who were seriously injured. But I'm here to speak about the Pennsylvania state constitution. We are fortunate to live in a state that recognizes that people have a right to clean air, pure water, and to the preservation of the natural, scenic, historic, and aesthetic values of the environment. The Commonwealth's resources are the common property of the people, including generations yet to come. Our state and local governments are by law the trustees of these resources and charged with conserving and maintaining them for benefit of all the people. These rights and responsibilities of our state and local government are codified in Article 1, Section 27 of the Pennsylvania Constitution, known as the Environmental Rights Amendment, the ENRA, with 1 million citizens voting to approve the amendment by a 4-to-1 margin in 1971. And as you know, Allegheny County Council is not a stranger to the ENRA. We thank you that recently in 2022, the Allegheny County government exercised its trustee duties to change a Parks and Recreation Code so that fracking and other industrial land uses would be prohibited in our parks. The ENRA not only protects our parkland, but also our clean air. Our neighbors living and working in the Mon Valley are harmed by the current emissions and conditions of the Coke Works. It is your duty as trustees to make sure that the air we breathe in Allegheny County does not make us sick. Please vote yes for the Health Department's fee increase proposal. Our industries need to be regulated and monitored for the beneficiaries of the Mon Valley, all of Allegheny County, and generations yet to come. I urge council members to get together to work out a proposal that will fully fund the Health Department's AIR program and be worthy of most everyone's vote. Thank you.
Natisha, are you here? No. Nope. Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? Second. Motion is made second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice night.